Today I have a freshman survival guide. I am going into the 10th grade, so I'm going to be a sophomore next year. So I just went through freshman year. And so I've come up with 5 tips to help you guys on how to survive your freshman year. I think one of the most #1 things that freshmen are scared of is finding your classes. Now, I wasn't really scared about that because I knew pretty much the school already, because most of my siblings have already went there, but I was nervous. I don't know, you're just kind of nervous that day in general, but finding your classes. Now, at your school there should be, little plate numbers that tells you classes 100 through 120 is this way, like that. And so I wasn't really too worried about that, and I knew that if your school has like 2 stories or more, all the 100 classes are on the bottom floor and all the 200 classes are on the top floor. So yeah, if that kind of helps you out. But there should also be people like teachers in the hallway, and you can ask them, don't be afraid to ask them where your classes are. I always did that in middle school, and middle school was smaller, but in high school I didn't have really any trouble because we had a freshman day, which was a day for just freshmen to come in the day before school started, so we could find all of our classes and kind of get to know our teachers before we actually had, to go to school with all the upperclassmen. And I think that really helped. I don't know if other schools do that, so comment below if your school does that. But ours did, and that was really, really helpful, so I already knew where I was actually going on the first day of school. So don't be afraid to ask people in the hallways, or even your friends. If your friend has the same class, try to meet up with them somewhere so y'all can walk together. So if you get lost, you get lost together, so you can go and find your classes. The next thing is about friends, about finding new friends and, trying to stay friends with your old friends from middle school. Now, there are just some relationships with friends that you're gonna lose them, that you're gonna grow apart because A, you don't have any classes with them, maybe they're going to a different school, and that really, really sucks, but you're just gonna grow apart. But that's just how it is, and maybe it's meant to be that way. Also, finding friends. I don't know if I come across this way, but I'm mega shy, really super, super shy, and I don't like talking to people that I don't know. I'm really, really, I'm super shy, and so it's hard for me to go out and make friends because I'm just can I just sit in the corner by myself and just wait for one of the people I know to come? But you have to branch out eventually. So one of my classes freshman year was dance, and my other friend took it too, so I was hoping we'd be in the same class. Unfortunately, we were not, that's gonna happen. You're gonna have some classes where your friends just aren't in there. But anyways, so I had to go into the class all by my lonesome self, and guess what? I made friends. The first friend I ever made, her name was Danielle, is Danielle. She had come from a different city, so she didn't know anybody, and so I was just sitting there for the first day, and I didn't really talk to anybody. I was kind of looking around, see if anybody was by themselves, and be go and talk to them. So the next day, not next day, but the next time in class, we had to pick our dance lockers, so we had to get a partner. And so I asked Danielle if she would be my locker buddy because we didn't know anybody else in the class. So that's how that's how I started making friends. And then after that, I gradually met more people like Lauren and Tracy and Stephanie and Jade and just many people that I love now because I had to branch out and not be so scared to go and talk to people, that I didn't know. So that helped me kind of overcome that. So you have to, you have to be brave. So if you're shy, trust me, you can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. In high school, I'm not sure about everywhere, but lunch is broken up into like different times. So we have A, B, C, and D lunch, and it just depends on what classroom you're in. So that's kind of scary to me. What if I don't get lunch with any of my friends? It's like one of my biggest fears. But thankfully I did get lunch with my friends. I knew a friend at every single lunch except for a lunch. But I never got a lunch. But sometimes, like in classes, like my speech in high school 101 class, we had speakers come to talk to us, so we had to go to an earlier lunch, so we'd have to go to a lunch, but I'd just sit with some of the people in my classes, which again, in my speech class, I really didn't have any friends in that class, but I did make one friend. Her name was Elizabeth, and also Amy, and this other girl named Mallory. So we would sit together by our little lonesome selves at a table, just like the four of us. But also, lunch was a really good time. I don't know about everywhere, but I don't know about everywhere, but our school isn't too strict about phones, which we're really lucky about that. So we can have them out at lunch and in hallways, sometimes even in class. I know that some teachers are really really strict about that, but I will get to that in a little bit. So yeah. So the next thing is fitting in. So in high school, it's so big that people aren't really, popular or that kind of stuff. There are definitely people that are well known in your grade, but there's no one that's just top dog popular kid like in middle school and elementary. Yeah, we had popular kids in elementary. But yeah. So what I have to say about fitting in is that really you just have to find your group, your friends that share the same interests, share the same morals as you. And if you don't want to hang out with someone that does drugs, has sex, and drinks alcohol, if you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Peer pressure is really big in high school. I didn't think that it was something that would actually happen. I really didn't. I don't know. My little butterfly and rainbow mind just oh no, people wouldn't do that. People will do that, and people do that kind of stuff, and I just choose to not put myself around it. And if I'm ever uncomfortable with someone that maybe does that kind of stuff, I have to put myself out of that situation, because I don't want that to affect me. And I just have different morals than a lot of teenagers. I'm very strict about that. No, that's not okay with me. If you do that kind of stuff, that is completely your decision. It's just my decision that I'm going to say no to all of that, and I recommend it to any of you, and to stick up for that. If someone makes fun of you for, not doing any of that stuff, then they should not be your friend, and you should not be hanging around with them, because it's just not a good example for you. If you don't want to do that kind of stuff, I just wouldn't hang around with people that do that kind of stuff. And also, the kind of last thing that I have to say on this little subject is stay true to yourself, and don't try and change for anyone. If you want to fit in with the popular group, then whatever. But if you're just trying to do it just so they can accept you, and I would say no to that. Stay who you are. I'm a crazy and wild person, And I really have to stay true to that. I'm not going to let anyone tell me to be different than how I am, because that's me and I'm not going to change just because someone, you know, doesn't want me to be like that. And a last little topic that I have are the rules. And this one for me is kind of a happier subject, because in high school you are most likely, you're not treated like how you were in middle school and elementary. You don't have to walk in a line like in elementary, and all that kind of stuff. You're given so much more freedom in high school. I really feel like that's with most places, that they just kind of trust you more because you're close to being an adult, so you should act mature enough to handle those responsibilities, even though some of those people don't. But, you know, first of all, phones. We are, like I said before, we're allowed to have our phones, you know, out and that kind of stuff. Some teachers are very strict about it and say no phones, but then other teachers are okay with it, and then some teachers, they say you can use it, you know, after I'm done teaching or that kind of thing. So it really just depends, but that's my school. And also dress code, I feel like is a lot more giving. In middle school, it was kind of like really strict about, you know, dress code and that kind of stuff, just because they're monitoring you all the time. And then elementary, I don't even remember. But high school, I would be allowed to wear this tank right here. And in middle school, I wouldn't be allowed to, but because we couldn't like show our shoulders. Yeah, I don't know. But, and also, you're allowed to wear, kind of like, not short shorts, but shorter than like the Bermuda style shorts that, you know, you had to wear in middle school. I don't know if it's all places, but our dress code is a lot more giving. I don't think there's any like dress code on shoes or makeup or nails. Like in middle school, we weren't allowed to wear like heavy black, like, you know, black eyeshadow and black eyeliner and that kind of stuff. We weren't allowed to do that, which I don't even understand that, because I feel like that's a way to express yourself, and like dressing, like fashion is how I express myself, and it's just, you know, how I express myself, and I don't understand why they have to limit it. Like, I get it, so we're not walking around like hoochie mamas, but, you know. So that is all the tips I have for you guys today, and I wish you the best of luck in high school, and I know you're gonna do great, and I just recommend stay true to yourself, and you will be just fine. And I love you guys so much. Please subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up, check me out on Pinterest, and I think that's it for today. Oh, leave requests for more back to school videos in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. See you later, taters! Ooh.